What's up, gaming heroes, and welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. In today's video, we're looking at a brand new grouping of TSM strings that I've just developed and uploaded onto gaminghero.io. So if you want to check those out, check out gaminghero.io. Now, this is every single Dragonflight recipe that there is for you to be able to purchase from the auction house to then sell back to the auction house to make that banging gold. On gaminghero.io, we actually have a bunch of different TSM guides and TSM strings in general. And here is the brand new one right here, Dragonflight Recipe Flipping. So if you remember, you can access this. And as you can see in this guide is you can get the actual strings that you want. All you'll need to do is quite literally press copy, load up World of Warcraft, load up your TSM, and then very simply import this group, paste it in, and as you can see, that generates a brand new group called DF Recipe Flips. Now, as you can see, we've got every single recipe in here possible, and it's got operations as well for you to be able to basically quickly and easily scan the auction house for anything it is that you're particularly looking for. Now, there's a whole load of recipes that you can basically get in Dragonflight, and these are absolutely incredible to flip at the moment. Now, for obvious reasons, I'm not releasing it to the whole public, because if I did, then the market would just completely be so useless and pointless that no one would use it. So I'm only releasing it to members on gaminghero.io. There's some things I want to kind of talk about here in this little clip as I show you some flipping that's going on screen right now. And that is the strategy of flipping. How do we flip? How do we go about it? What is it that we kind of do when we are flipping? Well, the first thing I always look for is the blue percentage on the right side of the screen. Looking at that, that tells me if it is priced really low or if it's priced about right. Blue usually tells me that it's really underpriced. And this could be for a number of reasons, such as there's too many items listed on the auction house and therefore it's tanked the price. Obviously, if there's too many items and not enough people buying, the price always drops. However, if someone has just decided that they want to sell it really quickly and they've whacked the price on really low, it can also fall into that blue section as well. And that, my friends, is what we're looking for. We want to come in where there isn't too many items, there's just the right amount of items, and we want to buy those items out and then put them back on the auction house for a banging deal. Now, typically, I like to go for about double the price in terms of profit, if not way higher than that. Now, a lot of these recipes in Dragonflight, the reason I especially like them is people who are getting into professions just want to buy all of their various recipes from the auction house. So they go to the auction house and they just buy everything for their profession, spend hundreds of thousands of gold, and you can sell literally like 10 recipes at one single time. And it's so awesome in that regard. Now, the other great thing is these recipes are actually pretty difficult to get. The majority of these recipes actually come from doing PvP. So if you like yourself some PvP, you probably got a few of these recipes already. Now, the two things I look at after I've checked the percentage is the yellow numbers next to the item. This usually tells you how many are listed on the auction house. And then the quantity column, which will also show you exactly how many. Now, with recipes, for some reason, I think it's something to do with how Blizzard have coded the auction house. The quantity section isn't always correct. That's why you have to look at both the yellow number and the quantity section in order to actually tell how many there are on the auction house. Now, whilst you check that, look for specifically anything 3 or under. 3 recipes or under is really like the hotspot I find for getting really good deals. Now, if it's one type of recipe, I will never buy more than 3 of that same recipe. That's my maximum. I will only ever buy 3 because I don't want to have too much stock. Usually, I prefer to stick around to the 2 section. Anything more than 3 is really just too much stock, and you're going to have trouble moving it unless you send it to another realm, in which case you can sell it. Now, just because it gives you low profits, like it gives you 500 gold, doesn't mean it's a bad deal. Still go for those banging 500 gold flips. They're still good, and there's not much gold that you have to spend in order to make those. Just make sure you're spending like a maximum of 500 to to make 500. You're not spending like 10,000 to make 500 gold, because that would just be a silly sausage moment thing to do, wouldn't it? So let's always try and aim for doubling your cost on a whole. So when you buy something, try and think, well, this costs 10,000. I want to make at least 20,000 in order to get my profits back out of this. That's the way I like to operate. It works for me quite well. And usually when I go ahead and buy a bunch of stuff, I usually 5 times my price in terms of auction house value. And I expect, you know, probably 10% of that is going to sell within the first week. And that's kind of like the operation I like to go for, get my money back quite quickly, and then start to sell all the extra things like transmog, which takes a little bit longer. Now, I've been flipping lots and lots of different items in World of Warcraft for around 4 to 3 years, and especially in things like Island Expedition transmogs, general recipes, general high-value transmogs, some pets as well. I do a lot of different flipping, and all my strings are on gaminghero.io. And there's certain things I've learned from basically flipping for a long period of time. That is, don't overstock yourself. Don't buy too much stock. It's such a crucial thing not to buy too much stock, because you end up being left with loads of items in your bag or your bank, and they're just clogging up your inventory. They're taking longer to post on the auction house. And what you want to be doing is having a quick post each day, in and out, 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Now, another little tip that I've got is I have a second account for flipping. I only sell on my main account crafted things. So anything I craft on any of my professions gets sold on my main account. And then my second account, I do all my flipping. Now, why is this advantageous to me? Well, this works really, really well for me personally, because A, I get the recruit a friend bonus. I get to recruit my own account effectively and get all those extra mounts and those toys and those appearances. It's really cool. And then the second benefit is, with the new system coming to World of Warcraft, where you can trade gold and items from one realm to another realm, it basically means that I can use one account to trade to the other account, and therefore be able to sell on many, many realms. Now, I want to be completely transparent for you. I am now flipping on 5 realms. That is Silvermoon EU, and then 4 I'm not going to tell you about because I don't want to ruin my own sales. But what I do want to tell you about is this episode right here is episode 1 of a brand new flipping series where I'm going to be flipping on 5 different realms. 1 realm being my main realm, and then 4 realms being other realms altogether. I'm going to be using all the gaminghero.io TSM strings to do this, and you're going to see why they are banging strings to make banging profit. So I hope this video helps you start your flipping journey in World of Warcraft to make some banging amounts of gold. Do bear in mind that when you get started, it's a good idea to start with at least 100,000 gold. If you're struggling with just getting 100,000 gold, try and do some really high value gathering farms, or maybe a mount farm where you actually can sell one of those high value mounts. That's a really good way to get started with some high value just to start your flipping journey. That's all I have to say today. You'll see you in the next episode where I show you some of these awesome profits from buying and selling transmogs and recipes and things of this nature. Thanks for watching. This is Erosium out, and I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to check out gaminghero.io, and if you're a content creator, then feel free to check out the affiliate program connected to that as well.